8 months ago, I posted a video about building my new gaming PC, but what did I use before that? Find out in this video. This is the Dell Precision T5500, a workstation PC that was released in 2009. This computer has insane upgradability. However, the one I have here isn't so tricked out. With an entry-level 4-core Xeon E5504 and 6GB of RAM, as well as an ancient GTX 570, this computer hasn't held up that well to the test of time. Despite being a workstation in the Precision lineup, it has no USB 3 ports. Opening the machine up, we can see a mess of cables as there is no cable management, lots of dust, and an unusual blue shroud. Under this reveals 3 2GB DIMMs of ECC registered memory. For more power-hungry users, this could be upgraded to 48GB. Strange how there is a shroud on the RAM but not on the CPU cooler, as all of the airflow relies on the 2 front fans, some unused fan slots at the back, and the power supply fan. The heatsink doesn't look as beefy as you'd expect on the Xeon, but higher end models had a bigger heatsink with denser fins and copper heat pipes to keep CPUs such as the X5690 cool. This unusual black plastic piece here is for a CPU riser card if you needed more power and cashed out for an extra CPU motherboard assembly, gaining an extra processor and up to 24GB of RAM. As ours here is low end, it does not have this installed, but it is a possible upgrade path for this machine in the future, as it comes with a factory 80+ silver 875W power supply. On the hinge out side panel we can see a date which could give us an estimate of when this machine was manufactured. Before we continue, let's head on inside. The computer is now on my desk, and let me tell you, this is one heavy PC, weighing in at about 18 kilograms. On the front we have 2 5¼ slots, one occupied by a DVD-ROM drive. Under that is a single unoccupied 3¼ slot, which usually houses a hard drive due to the ventilation slots. For front I/O there are 2 USB 2 ports, a headphone jack and a microphone jack. The power button is just under that, and at the bottom there is a grill to help with airflow. The middle of the front sticks out to allow for even more ventilation. The back of the machine has a reasonable number of ports. The power supply has a kettle plug, input, and a reset switch. Moving down there is an aftermarket sound card that doesn't work. However, I wish it did, as it appears to support a surround sound system. Under that we can see the back of the GTX 570, with 2 DVI ports, a HDMI port, and a display port. For motherboard I/O, there is a total of 6 USB ports, an RJ45 connector, another port of microphone and headphone jacks, some PS2 keyboard and mouse connectors, a printer port, and a serial port. There is also this unusual eSATA port which I haven't seen on many computers. On the left hand side of the machine there are 4 rubber feet if you prefer having the PC on its side instead of laying it down. On the top there is a pull tab for the side panel. The system, once plugged in, boots automatically as the CMOS battery is very well dead. There are no hard drives installed, but we can at least get into the BIOS. One thing that annoys me about this BIOS is that if you move your mouse too quickly, the cursor will just twitch. The BIOS is packed with information, and we can see the system information on this tab. Well, I can't do much here, so I better put in the original hard drive to continue. And here it is, the Western Digital Velociraptor. Despite being a workstation, this hard drive has a measly 80GB of storage. I hope I'll be able to fit some games on it. When I did use this computer, I also had a complimentary 500GB hard drive. However, I wiped this a while ago, and you can see my messy handwriting saying backup on the sticker. The caddy makes installing this a tight fit, but I eventually get it done. There was only one extra screw in the case, so I got another one for the shed. Apparently me fiddling around in the PC caused one of the DIMMs to not be detected properly. However, reseating it fixed the problem. I am surprised this system boots, as the hard drive is very old, but here we are on the desktop. It appears that I had Office 2007 installed, and let me tell you, the dark theme has not aged well. The system seems good for basic tasks such as writing, but let's give it some more tests. I have decided to make a new uniform test for all my PCs. It will include a YouTube test, a hill climb racing test, Cinebench R23, Train Simulator 2009 to 2021, they're basically the same games, BeamNG Drive, and a simple Premiere Pro sequence. Let's start with YouTube. Playback is very smooth, however it does not like me jumping to sections of the video, probably due to a slow CPU. Hill Climb Racing runs smooth also, however it takes a while to load due to a hard drive disk, but the Velociraptor does make it faster than a typical 5400 or 7200 RPM drive. Cinebench took forever, and the computer even fell asleep, which might have skewed our score, but in the end we ended up with 1014 points, which isn't so great compared to newer systems. BeamNG barely ran at all, with FPS seeing low 20s and even 10s. It didn't seem that changing the graphic settings altered the FPS that much. BeamNG is a CPU intensive game however, and this might be the problem. The game later crashed due to a lack of RAM. Train Simulator insert year here had okay performance on default settings, however it dropped into the 20s when a lot was happening on screen. Finally, Premiere Pro. This ran fine with one piece of 1080p footage, but anything more such as transitions and layers of footage, the system struggled as the 570's drivers are incompatible with the latest version of Premiere. However, when I had a copy of CS6 on the machine, it was able to take advantage of GPU acceleration and it was a much better editing experience. Time to score the system. 1 star means the system did poorly on the criteria and 5 means it was excellent. For features, I give this system 3 stars. In its current state, the system is quite boring, however it has excellent upgradability with an optional riser card and an empty PCI Express slot. General use scored 4 stars, as it is a capable word processing and video watching machine, although a slow hard drive can be frustrating and 6GB of RAM almost puts multitasking out of the question. For gaming, only 2 stars will be given, as the CPU and RAM seem to be quite a bottleneck, and the old GTX 570 isn't fast for today's standards. Overall, the system in its current state is quite slow, but since this machine has amazing upgradability, you might see this computer again on this channel sooner than you might think. And thank you for watching this video. Remember to like, share and subscribe to see more amazing content in the future.